Okay. No screaming. Can't have screaming. By the way, rip Rob Reiner and his wife. Jesus Christ, people. He never did a horror game or movie, but he brought us a lot of joy and wisdom, so... So first, we'll share the blue ski. So there's a reason why I'm playing this in particular, and we'll get to that in a second. I just need to learn how to spell the damn game. Yeah, life is just crazy right now, so I just thought I'd play something familiar and just kind of... Why is it not showing? Why is it... Hold on a second. Right. I'll figure this out. I will. And it's not going to show it. Damn it. All right. Whatever. Might as well play the game that inspired our song. Bloop. I don't know why it's not showing the title screen. It's just showing my generic border background. But whatevs. I don't care. Shared it to Bluesky. Alrighty. I'll share it to... I'll make a post about it too. All right. No camera today. Although I tried that and then quickly deleted it because I did it by mistake. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Hello everyone. How are you going?
Told you guys to stop screaming.
Subscribe and share if you want.
If you want. All right. So, I am AlucardsQuest. How are everybody? How? This is Splatterhouse Videogames from the arcade 1988. And since I'm AlucardsQuest, that means I also do music. And I just finished a track with my friend Mr. Josh Adams of Mamiya Mansion, and his partner in crime, Jerome. And the song is on Bandcamp if you want to support us, of course, under both AlucardsQuest and Mamiya Mansion. But it's also on most streaming services. I don't know about all of them, but most of the major ones now. If you just want to check it out, but support is always appreciated. It's the first song I've released in 10 years, and my first collab. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we made it happen somehow. The song is called "The House of Violence," and it's a tribute to Splatterhouse, a game that I still, to this day, don't think it ever got its due. Its due. Not the original, not the sequels, not the spin-offs, not the remake. I mean, it just... And I think someone had said that they wanted to do like a remake of Splatterhouse or something, or some kind of version of it. They sent it to Bandai Namco, or Namco Bandai, whatever they're called these days. And they politely refused, saying they kind of don't want to be associated with this franchise anymore. Which, hell, man, makes me want to scream. But, like, why not? There's so many, people devoted to this franchise on YouTube. Just look, there's so many videos dedicated to it, old and new. does it fit in today's landscape? I don't know. Maybe if they did like a 2D one. I know there's a spiritual successor in the works for it. Maybe I should look up the name of that, actually. Because I just subscribed to that channel. I watched a really good documentary on the making of. I'm kind of tired of hearing that intro, by the way. I watched a really good documentary about the making of the games and stuff behind the scenes, with interviews with the developers, the original developers, the Japanese developers, of course. Just a lot of really interesting and fascinating stuff about it. I'll let you know what it is at the end of the video. But right now I'm just trying to find out what the heck I just subscribed to. God, I'm subscribed to so many people these days. Skeletal Raven Arts, is that it? Yeah, Carnage Mansion. That's the spiritual successor. Check out Skeletal Raven Arts 2 on YouTube. It's they update on what they're working on as far as the game is concerned. I think they showed it at a trade show. Not playable, but just sort of what they were working on, and they got some feedback, and they really, really pushed it more into the direction of Splatterhouse rather than it feeling more like a Streets of Rage kind of thing. So it looks pretty cool. It's probably years off, but they say they're going to do, as soon as they have something playable, they're going to go to Kickstarter. And I know Kickstarter kind of has a bad rep these days, but I think it could be something special. And they're not going to use AI. They're going to make it a 2D game. I think with 3D tools, but generally it's going to be on a 2D plane. And it looks like it could be a Splatterhouse game. So do check that out. Carnage Mansion. Channel is Skeletal Raven Arts 2. Okay. But yeah, our song, The House of Violence, is out on most streaming services. It is, but especially Bandcamp, which directly goes to us, supports us both. I recommend actually going to the Mamiya Mansion one right now to get it. I actually bought his version for my own ownership. But for some reason, Bandcamp is being kind of a butt, and it won't show them in my collection there. So I'm trying to get a hold of them, but they say they're bombarded with emails lately. These are crazy times. But let's play. I don't know what more to say on this series. I love it. Turn the demo sound off. Oh yeah, we can reset, sure. So, I mean, this was kind of my introduction to horror video games. I had no idea that stuff could be like this. I might have played Castlevania in the arcade versus Castlevania in the arcades before, and of course Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. But this really tipped the needle, took it to 11, however you want to put it. This, in 1988, there was nothing gorier than this. You might say, oh, well, X game did this and X game did that, but this one was truly, truly defined by not horror classics, but like modern sensibilities of horror, and just like not just scary stuff, but like creepy stuff, like stuff that like you look at it, what is that? What, ew, and that kind of feeling. And of course, they got this rainy intro with Rick and Jennifer running to the house. Jennifer trips, but she catches up on her own, and then Rick gets behind her as they go into the house. Pouring rain, but and then something happens. Something happens to Jennifer. She gets kidnapped, and that leaves you, Rick, by yourself, left for dead, as it were. I would just like to see the series continue almost any way that I could. I know there's like an RPG that was never finished and some other things. There's like a semi-sequel to Wanpaku Graffiti, which was like the Famicom spin-off game. So I just want it all back. M2... Namco, you don't even have to lift a finger. You could do what Sega does and like hand it off to someone else and say, here, you do it. Sega barely puts their name on anything anymore. You saw me playing Shinobi, the new Shinobi. I don't think Sega's name was on the title screen. It might have been really tiny, but they all for all intents and purposes, they wash their hands of those old franchises and let someone else deal with them. They make money off of them, of course. They publish them, but it's almost not like they don't own their own franchises anymore. Not really, but it just feels that way. Anyway, I have a history with just Bandai Namco in the sense that I just don't... They've got some really big hits and they've got some really big misses, and this one was just a huge hit for me. Does it hold up still? I don't know if you could say an arcade game holds up anymore, but I think it's still fun playing. Let's see how well we do. Let's try to, through our first run, let's try to hit some of the more obscure stuff that most speedrunners and regular players will not show. All right, so how do I start this thing? No, I'm just kidding. It's Arcade Archives. I believe you hit triangle to put a quarter in. And there we go. The mask finds Rick. He's, for all intents and purposes, he's dead. But it brings him back to life and gives him power so he can save his woman. And that's how it used to be. I swear that lady's butt is like torn from her body. Dude, look at that. See, look, it's a butt down there. And just people just mangled all over everywhere. Like, I think Uncle Derek from Stop Skeletons described this as the house that dead feelings forgot. Or something like that. That good feelings forgot. Like, it's just... Like, there's a lady trapped in the cage back there, and she's like... Look like, you know, for all... Who knows? Maybe things have been trying to eat her down here. Now we splat them against the wall. I saw this in the arcade, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. The miasma was about to catch up with me. The game is an arcade game, but it doesn't have a traditional timer. What it has is this, just, I don't know what else to call it. It's like a miasma following you. Make sure you get your ass moving. Why did I jump? I hurt myself. Obviously, he looks like Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th. I don't know why they gave him a hockey mask. It's obviously a hockey mask. But that might have been too close of a tribute. In our song, though, The House of Violence... In my demo, I really tried to make it sound like a missing track from the game. Like they had, for instance, they had finished a level that we never got to. It's still in the game, but it's not included in the sequence. And that's kind of how I felt about the demo of my song, our song. But really, in my head, I was taking bits and pieces from my favorite tracks and kind of doing a pastiche. I was doing sort of my pastiche of what, say, 3 or 4 areas in the game might sound like. But it was Mr. Josh Adams' idea for us to collaborate, and he chose Splatterhouse. I was kind of hesitant because I had already done a tribute to Splatterhouse on my EPs years ago. Oh. I love that I can do that. In my song, what was it called? I'll figure it out here in a second. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Give me a second. It was on my EP from 10 years ago. Nightmare Circle Mansion West. That was my tribute to Splatterhouse. And I didn't intend it that way. I started it out because I was heavily influenced by Baby Metal's Rondo of Nightmare. And for whatever crap you want to give Baby Metal, listen to that song. It's a fucking dark and gorgeous but heavy track. And I was just like, man, I wish I could write a tune like that. And then I was like, I don't know. So I got some Dark Angel drumming together, and I took one of my old riffs from my old tapes, and I just sort of made it as creepy as I could. And then the drumming went total Morbid Angel with double bass, and I had this organ part, and I was just like, man, this is, I've reached something here. But the House of Violence is a different animal. It's kind of an extension of that idea, but then Mamiya Mansion runs with it and turns it into like this brutal metal track that I couldn't do on my own. And the boys just tore it up. Like, this was one of the tracks I was influenced by writing the song. I don't know if any of it comes across anymore. See, if you let these things grab you, these puddles, you've had it. Get dragged into another water part. And this one's harder than the one you were at before. You don't have your stick. You just kind of gotta knock these guys out as they come. Where are all these spikes coming from? I don't know. But it sucks because you lose your shotgun doing that. Might as well take this rock, though. But listen to that bass line. Gun, rock, gun, rock. I don't know if I can beat him without the second shotgun. I'm gonna try. I did it, but I only have one life health bar left. Here we go. I love this. I love that part. Nobody uses these spears, and I don't know why. Am I the only one who uses them? Make the games fun for yourself, you know? Oh, I wanted to show you what happens if you fall down that hole. Can I fall down the hole? I don't know. I don't think I can. But you see the miasma coming after me. I want to fall down the hole. Don't we all? It won't let me though. It's blocking right where that hole should be. I don't know what it is. It's like a lightning storm or smoke and stuff. But I want to show you what's down there, because nobody else does that. And that skeleton in the back was not having a good time. Anyway, this is the mansion proper. When you come out of the forest, you're leaving the shed that was in the intro. I'll show you that later. Okay. Oh, it's a worm room. I might die in here. Are they worms? They might be leeches, I guess. If you die in here, they suck your blood. And you just come right out. I wanted to include this kind of tune, this kind of melody into the song, but I don't know if I could without ripping it. I never gave it a shot. Maybe if I do like a third Splatterhouse song, maybe it'll be part of that. I do want to explore some of the themes that Splatterhouse 2 and 3, the melodies that those get into, because those are different kinds of soundtracks. And this is more of a horror soundtrack. Those ones are just, they have a little bit of that, but they're more melodic, more energetic for sure. I love this edge of the screen walk. I hate that he can do the jump slide on command, and I can't. Now it's auto-scrolling. I am not controlling it at all. Here we go. Why do all these evil places always have churches and chapels in them? I tried to do... This is kind of a Baroque song, and I tried my best. Sort of capture that. I am not that musically inclined, but I really wanted to get the essence of what this hallway felt like. Into our song, The House of Violence, and I hope I kind of got near that. And it ended up being two different melodies. I thought about intertwining them and making them sort of weave in and out, but that's a bit beyond my skill set. And I sent what I had in the demo. I included like an ending melody. It's not as good as the ending song. It's not as good as the ending song for this soundtrack, or this game, but it's a little ditty. And oh, the boys expanded on it very well. I think they did a fantastic job. But what I wanted to do was sort of find the connective tissue between this soundtrack, the metal of the remake game, but when I hear this song, for instance, to me this sounds like Cannibal Corpse. Or, Slayer or something. And I just wanted to bring together that connective tissue, like make it metal, but make it sound like the original game. And some guys have done that on their own, which is fantastic. See, nobody goes down here, so I thought I should go down here. More water, more spike balls. Why are there spike balls down here? I don't know. Because game insists that it be there. This song I did not put on there. I did not try to pastiche this. Yeah, wasn't gonna make that. Ah, fuck you. If anybody knows what he's saying, please let me know. Necromancer. I thought he looked like a pumpkin in the original, in the arcade, but I guess I was mistaken. This part is hard. But the dogs will always go for any sort of rotting meat on the ground. So I'm gonna try and just sort of let them have it. Bad dogs. And this, what can you say about this? I didn't really get to this, but this is like, imagine that though. Like, let's all imagine we have girlfriends, right? And imagine you love her so much, but she turns into this monster right in front of you. And she wants to kill you. She's not trying to give you a kiss. Although some people might be into that. There's some freaky people on YouTube. Freaky frogs, but... There is a trick to this last part. I don't know why I can't get with it. What's so funny? And the interview with the devs from that video I was telling you about, the devs wanted to have it so the person you were trying to save, you could not do it. You essentially fail at it. And that's how a horror movie should be. Thank you. Goodbye. And then that cover, I used that for the cover of her just being whisked away. We had a fantastic artist working on it, which I hope I've credited him. I may not have. Gotta make sure I do that. This seems like a different game entirely, but like all of a sudden we're an alien. Huh? And there's bubbles and like alien things coming out. Don't like this part. It's kind of cheesy. There's a cool melody in it, though. I'm told that the music composer, if they ever remake this game or do another one, that he wants no part of it. He doesn't like horror movies. And this game kind of traumatized him or something. Get off me. Trying to talk and chew gum at the same time. Hold on, give me a second here. What were we talking about? Yeah, I didn't put the artwork. I need to do that right now, actually. Let me see. I think on the You Twit Face he wrote something. Sorry. Don't mean to interrupt, but I was playing kind of badly anyway. Let's just go here. Wait, Violet Green. So is he... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Just a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Jerome Violet Green. Okay. So I guess they're brothers. Andre seems to be the brother of Jerome. Jerome, I think he did some guitar stuff and vocal stuff for our song, and Andre Violet Green did the artwork, the cover art. And that is the cover art, man. The cover art is sick. It might be, I haven't seen everything he's done, but it might be one of the best things I've seen from him. He's done other Mamiya Mansion covers. I gotta put that on my post, though. Get back to where I was. Cover art by Andre Violet Green. Update. Yeah, and he does not use AI either. So, definitely. And maybe I'll edit some more of that later. Anyway, it's the cover is you saw it from the back earlier, but you see it from the front on our art is Jennifer kind of ghosting, being spirited away as she dies. in Rick's arms. And I wanted to sort of, I didn't want to just put the hockey mask on him for the cover. I wanted to kind of see his face and see his sadness and kind of have her touch him. And, well, that was probably his idea. And just see his humanity before he dies, that she recognizes him. And then that I asked to put at the end screen of the burning house, which, spoilers, but I mean, hell, this is a horror game. It doesn't end well. Let's get back into it. And it just came out way better than I expected. You look closely in it, you can see like demons in the background of the, like, the trees and stuff. There's a little back and forth on the art, but I think generally and I was surprised that the boys just let me kind of run with choose the art. I just had this idea, and I thought using their normal artists would be cool. Pop them bubbles. Burst their bubble. In life, you have to burst people's bubble. But once it's done, get the hell out of the way or you'll be covered in their disgusting bleh. Alright, and here we go. And I'm not sure what happens here. I don't think this is Dr. West. I think like the mask summons this evil demon character just to sort of end the nightmare. I mean, that's what we're here to do. I always get hit by that debris. This part of the song is just so weird. Seems kind of out of place. Whoa. Come on, Rick. Save your girl. Now, I will be... This is a bit controversial, but I don't like the voice of the mask in the remake. Of course, I'm sure someone is bound to say I'm a contrarian or something. But, it's like the same way I don't really like the voice of Harley Quinn. Everybody else does, except me, I guess, but I don't think they fit. Whether they're well done or not doesn't matter. I don't think they fit. And I don't think the voice of Rick's mask, while from a talented voice actor, I don't think it fits. I mean, this is I mean, the voice sounds like the living embodiment of an anachronism. I can't. We're gonna continue, actually. What are these people on fire just jumping in? This was in a horror movie? You know, I don't get it. Maybe I don't watch enough horror. Well, I'm for sure I don't. Because I don't really like horror movies. Ironically, I love horror video games, but I don't like horror movies. When my brother would show me, like, Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, I would be more interested in the human characters surviving than I was in the slashing and gore part of it. You know, I like, you know, some fake gore like anybody else, but hands are so grabby. Gotcha. I think some of the sound effects have dropped out. Oh, maybe not. I was wrong. This scene, this part of the cover, and then flip Rick and Jennifer around to show her whisking out of his arms. That's our cover. Splatterhouse, the House of Violence. I tried to sort of end it on. I couldn't write a song like this. This is gorgeous, but I tried to do something sort of sad and, you know, down tempo. And actually, I might have said this, but Mamiya Mansion ran with it. And this part, from this part on of our song, they really just took it up a notch. Really, you guys have to listen to our song. I'm so, you know, every time I hear it, it sounds better than I thought. I was so nervous about it going into it. There's a lot of back and forth about, you know, some of the stuff and just trying to get it together. A lot of work on their part. I actually did some work for a change. But, you know, and finally getting a new song out for me is a big, it's huge. You know, it's been 10 years. Over 10 years. So, are we back? Well, they never left. Mr. Josh Adams is writing music constantly. I got stuff to do, but I've also got some life issues happening. So there's the mask all broken up that broke off his face. And they even found a way to put that into our song, which is crazy. They did it even, I think their laugh is much better than this one. My high score isn't very impressive, though. I'm just going to put ah for that. So what we're going to do, see, there's the shed to the right. If they were killed in the house, they threw him in the shed. Or if Jennifer was kidnapped in the house, they threw him in the shed to rot. And what a disgusting shed it is, actually. It looks like a moldy, like, look at it. This is the shed. They dropped him in a pit or something. There's like a broken table there. A bunch of people writhing. See, this is what I imagined when people said, oh, Elizabeth Bathory kept people in her dungeon. This is kind of what I envisioned what she would have down there. But actually, the thing about it is that Elizabeth Bathory, she was probably innocent. Nobody confessed to anything that they were accusing her of until they tortured them. So, her legacy is probably BS. But I'd still go visit her castle. You know, there's supposedly, I don't know if they say remodeling. They're trying to bring it back up to what it was, which should be interesting to see. I don't know how far it is or if they can do that. But it's like Dracula's castle, you know. Was Dracula a bad person? No, but he wasn't as cool as you make him out to be either. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. Like, history is history. I mean, you think of Joan of Arc as this beautiful woman who just cut her hair a little bit but was still a gorgeous woman but looked like a young boy in armor and fought for, you know, in the religious... I don't think they were the Crusades, but whatever. But the truth is far more nuanced than that, you know. So I have to finish up my caffeine. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go through it. Not necessarily how a speedrunner would do it, but so we don't have to see all those horrible rooms anymore. We're just going to do it straight. Maybe I may not even talk that much. We'll see how it goes. Of course, you see I've got all that life stuff down there. You guys know me. I say no shaming, no game shaming, no shame in gaming. If people want to play something on easy, let them play on easy. You know, life is as hard as it needs to be. Not everybody needs to be challenged in their free time, you know, any more than you can be on 24/7 trying to be a political activist. You know, you got to go to bed sometime. You got to go to the bathroom sometime, you know. Leave these people alone. I don't understand how some people can, like, be so serious about, like, say, movies or something, that they don't have any, like, guilty pleasures. They don't know how to shut their brain off and enjoy, like, some mindless popcorn entertainment. I don't know, you know. I think Red Letter Media gets it, and they watch dumb movies on purpose to find stuff that's so bad it's good. But at the same time, they're kind of movie snobs too. So I don't know. Anyway, what were we talking about? Okay, we're gonna play again. We already saw that. So this is like a pit in the shed or something. That lady whose ass was torn off. There's another ass there. Okay, threw up and then his head vanished, rotted away. There's another ass. So many asses down here. And there was no other game like this back then. There was no... Especially the music. There was no other music like this back then. And I always thought it was so cool. I wasn't even into metal when this came out yet. I think I was into hard rock and stuff, but I didn't... I might have been aware of, like, Peace Sells for Megadeth, but... I remember seeing a poster of it at a record store, but... This was new to me. I want to know what soundtracks this comes from. And I want to know why when you hit enemies it sounds like a bowling pin. Why does it sound like a bowling pin? And why do you drop your weapon when you go to the next area? And the sound of those guys splattering up against the wall. See, that's what I like. To me, that's innovation in music. Making sounds that nobody's ever heard before. I'm not the biggest Rage Against the Machine fan, but I thought the stuff Tom Morello did on guitar was groundbreaking stuff. And I want to hear more guitarists take that level of experimentation. The last thing I want is for rock and heavy metal, or music in general, to get so stale that nobody wants to listen to it anymore. And how much staler could it be than to have an AI write your music that sounds like everything else? And what the hell is that thing? This is so Cannibal Corpse, it hurt. This bass line is so Alex Webster. Alex Webster invented this bass line, I swear. Well, maybe not, because this game came out before. Now I got two shotties. Later, Biggie Man. Biggie Man's got some seriously messed up, like, features. Another ass on the ground. AVGN likes ass so much, he should play this game. He can get all the real ass he'd ever want. Another, like, baby blob thing. You know what that reminds me of? But in like retrospect, like, it reminds me of the baby in Resident Evil 8. And if you know, you know. So I think Resident Evil 8 took their design from this game for that baby. There's another ass on the floor for you. There's so much ass in this game. 3, 4. Always that fourth mirror. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe fifth mirror. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 5. Oh, I just got it. Because he came out of the glass, he turns into sand. Right? This song is awesome too. I love classical music. And of course the upside down cross. Like, I couldn't believe that this was in an arcade. Like, they were showing this off to kids, and I was playing it. And this was years before Mortal Kombat. And this is a regular church hymn, obviously. I don't know if I could do a third Splatterhouse song. I don't know where I'd take it. But I would want it to sort of weave in 2 and 3 better. I haven't really played 2 and 3 properly. I tried to play 2 and I get to a point and I get kind of not stuck, but just like, okay, you know, I'm not good enough right now. I need to come back to this later. All right. Not getting sidetracked today. Damn chairs. And I was trying to explain to my guitarist friend, like, I wanted to make music like this. I did my first song was like this, and he didn't understand. Like, he didn't, like, what, you want to make video game music? And I'm like, yeah, kinda. He didn't get it. Gotta jump over this. Get to the real area. Don't laugh at me, girly. Ghost woman. How do I die from some ghost lady dropping skulls on me? That's shameful, is it not? It messes me up because when you jump, you do a kick, but I'm trying to punch her in the air. I guess you gotta stand still. Crazy woman. And another one of these where I gotta fight this fucker. Like these decrepit dresses on the wall. You can see Hamster Corp's emulation isn't all that great. The dresses kind of wobble from uneven pixels. GameSack tried to explain that they didn't know how to do interpolation, or rather M2 didn't, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be. So close to the end, too. Get your ass in that door, Rick. All right. My darling. Apparently the composer worked really hard trying to get his voice to sound like a woman in that. He said you can't just make your voice high pitch. There's an inflection involved. So how about some appreciation for his male to female, the first trans voice in video games. Well, not really. Kinda, though. You think about that. One of the oldest guys in metal, Rob Halford from Judas Priest, openly gay. At least we discovered it later, but oh, that was flawless. Thank you. Goodbye. I always wondered what that enemy did there. He's like, ugh. I tried to do like stages, like on Instagram and social media, like trying to hype up the release of our song and the House of Violence, and I don't know. Either people, you know, everybody has stuff to do. I couldn't do it on Twitter though. I'm done with Twitter. I had to let it go, and if that means, you know, making a little bit less money, because we don't make much money on our music. It's for the love. It's why we do it. You know, and that's how it's supposed to be. If you're not doing creative things for the love of it, if you're doing it for the money, you're gonna get burnt out and not like it anymore. If ever you did like it. Oh man, I was just trying to... You know when they're gonna attack you and you don't have... You're not gonna... You can't get out of the way, so you try to get out of the way beforehand, and... I don't know. I guess it doesn't work all the time. It'd be interesting watching speedruns of this, but... I couldn't do it. That's not me. If you get rid of these bubbles before they burst, or before they turn into alien fetuses or whatever. YouTube's gonna ask me, is this video intended for children? I don't think so. Although, when I first played Splatterhouse, I was a children. Don't get hit by that bleh, that heart barf. Oh, see? Told you not to get hit by it. You did it anyway. Sound effects drop out. That's so weird. But I think Splatterhouse needs to return. HD collection of all the games, even unreleased stuff. I don't know who's got to do it, even if, you know, someone could handle it and do a fantastic job. I'm thinking Digital Eclipse. Of course, I'd like Digital Eclipse to do every remaster. Get in 8 hits 4 times, then you've pretty much beaten him. And I did not get in my 8 hits that last time. Damn it. I'd like to get a high score though. I don't know how... Is this my last life? I don't know. It was kind of cool that this came to the TurboGrafx 16 though, and PC Engine, because if you think about it, if you do any research on it, the PC Engine TurboGrafx is basically just an NES but with more power. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's the real Super Nintendo. Not just in name. It actually has the same kind of hardware. Oh yeah. The Mamiya Mansion boys were gonna make a music video out of this. I guess they played the Switch version. Which, you know, if the... You can say the Switch... Don't buy Switch versions of anything, but... This is a 16-bit arcade game. If a Switch can't run a 16-bit arcade game, then... What the hell, man? And that's it, boys. We went through all the branching stages. Not that it mattered, though. And, Splatterhouse is in the books twice, technically, but yeah. And then the ending... And I think in the sort of documentary video I watched, they said if you knew all the answers, then it wouldn't be like horror. It would be something else. It's better not to know, or at least fill in the blanks by yourself. Something to that effect. And I think partially I agree, but anytime I can find out more about this story, I'm so interested. I think Tajima was the one. He said he didn't want to work on this game ever again, and any horror game or any sequel or anything. But our hopes are high for the remake. Or not the remake, the spiritual successor. What's so funny? And now we got a new high score. Yes. Got to put in the initials for that. Yeah, publish my high score in the online rankings that may or may not exist. Whooshoe! That's not it. You know what would be cool is if they had got Akira Yamaoka to do music for a possible Splatterhouse revival. He could do it, maybe. I don't know how big of a horror fan he is. Certainly, regarding Western horror, I have no idea. Skeletal Raven Arts, that's it. With Carnage Mansion. Wishing all the luck to Carnage Mansion. I'm kind of glad, though, that I got talked into doing Splatterhouse, because it is one of my favorite old school soundtracks. I did get to sort of show a different side to my original song. So that was Splatterhouse 1. This is my original song. This is more of a part 2. And it does what the original did, but in a different way. They're both would be part of the same soundtrack, the original versions. The new version, I don't know, HD remake, I don't know. But the song that's out now, The House of Violence by AlucardsQuest, myself, and Mamiya Mansion. I wanted to call it AlucardsQuest versus Mamiya Mansion, or AQVMM, but they were more adamant about being a featured artist. And I'm like, well, it's really, I wrote the initial parts and send it off to them. They kept it in that order, tried to recreate the sounds, and metalized it for sure. And it's just sick. But and it's sick in a different way than mine. Mine was mentally sick. Theirs is just visceral. So, but both versions are awesome. Maybe someday I'll hit that demo out to people, but I do think it shows. I do think I took it to a different level. I did want it to become metal, as I did do my original track eventually, but it came out different than I thought, but in some ways a lot better than I thought as well. So that's cool. And as I say, I think it gets better with progressive listens. The more you hear it, the better it sounds. I insisted that there be melody in it. I insisted on a couple things, but also in a collaboration, you have to relinquish some control, and I think I did that, and that's what happened, man. But I hope someday that Namco Bandai, at least gives us collection. They don't, if they don't want to make a new game, that's fine, but just farm out the series to someone else. Make it someone else's responsibility, and you don't even have to put your name on it. It could be in the tiny little, notes on the back. All because they merged with Bandai, I think. I think that was the thing. Because Bandai is more of a kid-friendly thing. Forget the gay undertones of Dragon Ball. Forget that. Just, but anyway. Neither here nor there. This was great. I was kind of befuddled that this wasn't on the channel already, but now it is for sure. The original Splatterhouse you can get on a Namco Bandai collection that's on Switch, or you can get the game by itself, done by Hamster Corp for the Arcade Archives on, I think, all modern console digital storefronts. Not sure about PC. I suppose I could check. be a good guy and check. Splatterhouse. I don't know if they have any of it. Oh, they have Namco Museum Archives. And all that has is the spin-off from the Famicom Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti. That's all you get on Steam. Let's check GOG. Good Old Games. By our friends at... who are those devs? Can't think of their name. CD Projekt Red. Let's see on Good Old Games if they have some Splatterhouse. No, it's not there at all. But that we're at Good Old Games, we go to, I think, near the bottom. We look for GOG Dream List. Vote now. I think I'm logged in. Make sure you're logged in. And then you vote. Search for a game to vote or add on. There's a search bar down there. Splatterhouse. And I wrote it in. I've already upvoted 1, 2, and 3. 3D, whatever that is. Probably some fan project. The remake from 2010. I upvoted that. 3D Gold. I don't know what that is. Re-release of my old Splatterhouse 3D games. The graphics have been fixed. I don't know what that means. Wanpaku Graffiti. So all the released games are up there. No spin-offs or RPG things or spin-offs of spin-offs, it should say. Why they're not on Good Old Games? I think just Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco being Bandai Namco, or as Matt McMuscles calls them, Namkai Bando. I think that's what he calls them. So, yeah. Splatterhouse. So, anyway, yeah, arcade version on the Switch and arcade archives on consoles. Wanpaku Graffiti is on Steam and as in the Namco Bandai bundle or archives, I should say. All consoles digitally. I think only physically on Switch from Asian countries. Don't quote me on that. The original games, you may have to either scoop up a copy of the remake that was on PS3 and 360 to get those original 3, or you may have to either go retro or, other means. As far as the TurboGrafx 16 port, I don't care. If you want that, I suppose you could grab a TurboGrafx or PC Engine Mini made by M2. There's a little bit of sound delay in those and a bit of controller delay, but those are very good things. I think I got all the mini consoles for my brother, except for the Genesis 2. But I thought those would be cool for him to have. I wish I had them now. But I think what the publishers and producers of games look for is how much are people talking about these games online? How much are they interested in them? I'm trying to wrap up here. Trying to put a bow on this damn thing. And if I can contribute to that in any way with my song, our song, not the the House of Violence, or this, stream of it, or what have you, then great, fantastic. That said, please do check out our song. It's on all the streaming services if you just want to listen. But if you want to support us, check us out on Bandcamp. Check out Mamiya Mansion. Check out AlucardsQuest. I've got my old stuff there too, which is also on streaming services. I was kind of pressured to to go back to Spotify this time, although I didn't want to. But it's about getting your stuff out there, and apparently our stuff is going to go to Roblox as well, although we don't get paid for that. So take that as you will. Of course, we don't really get paid much for streaming in general, but if you could check out our track, it's on YouTube now as well too. And I'm sorry I keep repeating it, but this is kind of like we didn't have a launch party, but we might as well have a do what we can here. I'm just sorry that Mr. Josh, Mr. Jerome couldn't be here, but we'll pour one out for the homies, as they say. Although they're still alive, so that's not important. We'll do that for Rob Reiner and his wife. Rest in peace, both y'all. I know it's kind of inappropriate to kind of talk about, but just to bring it up in casual conversation. But I'm not good at these things, and I've been through a lot of shit. Maybe some of y'all have been through some shit, so everybody mourns in their own way, and as long as you're not harming anybody or physically or emotionally or mentally or abusing anyone, you should be allowed to mourn however you please. Excuse me. While I kiss this guy. Ultima Underworld 1. That got re-released? Guess Electronic Arts let it go. Cool artwork, man. Looks like He-Man. Anyway, neither here nor there. I hope this isn't the end of my musical comeback. But, we're all going through tough times. I'm particularly going through some rough stuff. I'm shocked that I even got to release anything. But I've had a lot of support from Mr. Josh Adams, so thank you very much, sir. Thank you to your pals in your groups and your artists and everybody you work with who helped out on House of Violence. I much appreciated. Of course, it's kind of redundant. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Hit the comment button and share a like if you subscribe. There's a new hype button thing. I don't know what this is. Is that a thing? I'm not familiar with it. If you see it, do whatever that tells you, as long as you're not spending money. Don't spend your money on me. Keep yourself housed and fed. I'm fighting to do that myself. Luckily, a couple of people have, bought the tune already. So. Anyway, that's it. It's pretty awkward now, but it feels like I've forgotten something. I don't know. Happy release party, everyone. I'm a couple days late, but we did it. We got new music out there somehow. It's not exactly what I had pictured in my mind, but mostly it's better, so that's cool. And it's tough doing a collab. I don't know if I want to do another one. I think I want to finish my I want to be done with my 3DS music on Rhythmic Ultimate. And despite it being called Ultimate, it is apparently not very ultimate. I'm sorry, Cinemax, but it's not. Anyway, or pragmatic. I got to let you guys go. We've been going for 101 minutes, it says. So, yeah. And if you're interested in Splatterhouse, watch that documentary. Let me look it up. Actually, that's what I forgot. I said I was going to do that. I'm sure I've saved it in a playlist or like somewhere here. Did I put it in favorites? Well, we'll look in the playlists. It's The Unknown History of Splatterhouse by, oh my gosh, Acido Cinza. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly as best I can. Please, 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 if you have any passing interest in Splatterhouse, check that out. Check out Matt McMuscle's video on it. Check out Stop Skeletons from Fighting's Splatterhouse videos. All of these things combined. There's some other ones, some fan stuff, other fan stuff, but I think The Unknown History of Splatterhouse is a fantastic video. I tried to get our friend Mr. Josh Adams to watch it, but like the best of us, he does not go on social media. And I wish I was as bold as him, but I am addicted to YouTube, as you can tell. I will see you guys later. House of Violence, it's out now. Check it out. Bandcamp especially, but, do what you can. A listen is 0.03 of a cent on those horrible platforms you guys love so much. Never mind. Really, everyone should probably leave Spotify and Pandora and any other service that pays less than a penny for a listen. God, how cheap do you have to be to not even want to pay someone a penny? Have to listen to it 4 times for them to get 1 cent, and then have to distribute that to, 5 band members, artists and producers and the label and, and they wonder why, there are no new Metallicas anymore. They're trying to kill music, and that's why I hate AI. Is because you can type a sentence into a program and come out with a song and put it up online in a matter of minutes. And what even is it? Talk about grifting, man. If I was in financial trouble, I would probably do that. And I'm kind of thinking about doing that just as a joke, just to sort of ruin, types of music that I hate. But I'll try not to. You guys can try to talk me out of it. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's gotten super awkward, more awkward than I ever have before. More awkward than Awkward Fina, whoever that is. And that's it. I'll let you go. Bye-bye.